A very good morning to uh, uh, the webinar. Warm welcome to all the delegates from Ethiopia. Good afternoon to all the delegates from India side. We are joined by His Excellency Mr. Robert Tong, Ambassador of India to Ethiopia. Kasso, Director Medicine Registration and Licensing Directorate, Ethiopian Food and Drug Administration. Executive Committee, Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Association. Mr. David Feleke, Advisor to CEO, Industrial Parks Development Corporation. On that, we are having 60 companies from India side with a wide range of manufacturing, excipients, biologicals, contract manufacturing services, traditional medicine, and other sectors. And on the Ethiopian side, we are having 25 companies today who have joined us. We welcome you all. With this brief, I now welcome Mr. Ravi Uday Bhaskar, Director General Pharmaxil, to kindly give his welcome address. Sir, over to you. Thank you.
Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. His Excellency Mr. Robert Tong, Ambassador of India to Ethiopia, and Mr. Abdullah Kasso, Director Medicine Registration and Licensing Directorate, Ethiopian FDA, and Kalkidan, Ethiopian Pharma Association, and Mr. David Felek, Advisor to CEO Industrial Parks Development Corporation. I welcome you all to this India-Ethiopia Pharmaceutical Cooperation and Regulatory Developments. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome His Excellency Ambassador to Ethiopia, and with his unstinted efforts and his unconditional support has made this event a reality, and I'm very much thankful to him for inviting the important agencies from the government of Ethiopia to be part of this pharma meet. Thank you very much, sir, and I welcome you to this the meeting. I also welcome Abdullah Kaso, Director Medicine Registration and Licensing Directorate, EFDA. Thank you very much, sir, for obliging our invitation. Your presence is going to be very helpful to the Indian participating companies. And I also welcome the Ethiopian Pharma Association and Mr. David Felek, Advisor to CEO, Industrial Parks Development Corporation. I recollect the visit of Ethiopian Investment Commission to India in 2016 November. We facilitated the visit of the delegation to one of the largest pharmaceutical clusters of India in Vizag in Andhra Pradesh. And subsequently, we organized a meeting with the different stakeholders and the companies. That still it's in my mind. It's a fresh, and the representatives they are from the Prime Minister's office of Ethiopia. We had a very fruitful discussions, and we engaged and we facilitated the visit from the delegates. At this point, I would like to emphasize on the Indian pharmaceutical exports in a very brief way. In the financial year 1920, we exported pharmaceuticals worth of $20.5 billion to the entire world, and particularly during pandemic, the Indian pharmaceutical industry has supplied the repurposed drugs like COVID drugs like hydroxychloroquine, paracetamol, and other antiviral drugs to more than 150 countries, including the developed countries like US, Europe, and other countries. So, financial year 2021, in the first 3 quarters, so the entire world was thinking that this is going to be a very catastrophic effect on the Indian pharmaceutical exports and the manufacturing sector. But Indian pharmaceutical industry and Indian pharmaceutical exports have done tremendously well, and we already recorded 17.58 billion US dollars exports with a 12.43% growth in the last 9 months. So Africa is one of our largest exporting destination, and last financial year 1920 we exported 3.51 billion US dollars worth of drugs. Africa is almost our export share 17% we are exporting to the Africa. So Ethiopia is concerned, it is one of the friendly country, as well as we are also closely working with Ethiopian pharmaceutical trade with the support of our ambassador Robert G. And our exports marginally there is a degrowth, particularly in 1920. But there is a positive trend is being observed in the financial year 2021. You are all very much aware of that. India is known for quality drugs at a very affordable price, and that is going to help the Indian pharmaceutical industry. So as far as vaccine front is concerned, so we have supplied actually the vaccines. The Indian manufacturing Zydus Cadila, Biological E, Arabindo, and Mankind Pharma, all these companies are participating in this supply chain. And we received requests from so many countries, and we have already supplied to COVID-19 vaccines to 19 countries. So the Honorable Commerce Minister, while addressing the Parliament, has stated that the Indian vaccines worth of 42.78 millions are already exported. So with these, I think the Indian pharmaceutical industry, as well as the Ethiopian Investment Commission and Ethiopian FDA, will work closely for the betterment of the people of both the countries, as well as we're expecting a collaboration which will be fruitful for the Ethiopian industry. With this, I once again thank you, our ambassador and other dignitaries from Ethiopian government, part of this wonderful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Uday Bhaskar, for the brief on the Indo-Ethiopia cooperation, as well as our exports to Ethiopia and the way forward for working together. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Robert Shetty Tom, Ambassador of India to Ethiopia, kindly give his introductory remarks on Indo-Ethiopia pharmaceutical cooperation. Sir, may I invite you to kindly give his introductory remarks. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We give a brief introduction about Ethiopia to, to all of you. Ethiopia is the second largest country in terms of population in Africa. It's about 112 million people. And the population is very young, aspirations are rising. So I see that the economy will only grow up. In the last 5 to 6 years, Ethiopia has been one of the fastest growing economies at the rate of 7 to 12%. That is because of the committed leadership here and because the infrastructure is there here in this country. Yes, Ethiopia does not have a port, but it has excellent arrangements with the port of Djibouti. The country is exploring other ports like Sudan or in Kenya. So I feel that excellent infrastructure that they have, the economy is only going to grow. That is why we have about 600 plus Indian companies in Ethiopia, employing about 75,000 Ethiopian nationals. Indian investments cumulative is about $5 billion, and we estimate that $3 billion are on the ground. I am giving you this background to convey this message that yes, Indian businessmen are interested in Ethiopia. In terms of pharmaceuticals, we have 50 big companies who are already exporting to India. If we bring in smaller, but also a smaller Indian company, we are looking at 100, 200 Indian companies only in pharmaceuticals. The top five countries that export to Ethiopia are India, Germany, England, UAE, and China. At the embassy, we believe that India's share in exporting pharmaceuticals is substantial. For example, in 2019-20, we exported about $140 million. Probably these figures may not really reflect on the ground. That is because probably these medicines are these pharmaceutical items are exported through Djibouti port. So probably some of them may have been reflected elsewhere. Today we have Brother Daniel who is here, who will share his personal story why India is the best. He has been importing pharmaceutical items from India for the last 20 years. And if you look at his story, this is something that is very encouraging. He is going to start. He is one of the co-partners for Kilit's factory, which is going to start very soon. This is the next stage that we have to look into. In the last 1 year, despite the COVID, 35 new big investments from India have been reported, and one of them is this Kilit's factory. This will only show that Ethiopia is the right place for Indian businessmen to come and explore and also to export. The Ethiopian government wants Ethiopia to be the manufacturing hub for Africa in the next 5 years or so. It is not only goal, but they are implementing on the ground. They are showing with the example, or they are already implementing things on the ground. If Ethiopia wanted to have a strong pharmaceutical and health industry, Ethiopia is on the right path, because they have today so I'm looking at lots of pharmaceutical companies or factories that can be established there. I can only vouch that once Ethiopian leadership or the people decide, they will implement it. And Indian businessmen ultimately have not doubt, because from the experience that I have visiting Indian factories in the last 3 months since my arrival in Ethiopia, I can only vouch that Ethiopia is the best and the safest bet for our Indian businessmen. So I see a lot of growth in this sector, and as we discussed today, I believe we will be hearing their personal experiences from the association, from the individuals who are in this sector. We will only. I'm confident that we will have useful interaction. So with this short remark, let me end my remarks, and I will participate as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. Robert Checkington. Now, Mr. Abdullah Kesso, Director, Medicine Registration and Licensing Directorate, Ethiopian Food and Drug Authority, to kindly give his special address on product registration and policy update on drug registration and government procurement in Ethiopia. Sir, I invite you to kindly give your special address. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And thank you all for organizing such an interesting event regarding the pharma industry. I would like to give you a highlight on medicine registrations and marketing authorization, as well as the procurement aspect. Actually, I can't give you the detailed information regarding the procurement because it is managed by another organization, another agency, which is under Ministry of Health. Okay. First, let me begin with Ethiopia. It is actually has been said Ethiopia is one of the country which is located in Africa. It's a landlocked country with a population of more than 110 million population. It is a capital for African Union and also other international organization. It is a political capital in Africa. And also when we see the health facility, it's more than 10,953 health facilities and more than 18,000 health posts regarding the healthcare facility. We do have around 12 pharmaceutical manufacturers and 489 wholesalers and distributors and around 383 importers and 1,078 pharmacy and 4,056 drug stores and also some drug vendors. These data actually vary from time to time because there are some newly emerging healthcare facilities and importers as well. And also there are some which exit the business. When we see about the Ethiopian health system, it has a health policy. Actually, this health policy is under revisions, and the health system is organized in three pillars: the service provider, service purchaser, and health regulator, which we are in. When we see the service provider, it actually depends on its health policy, and it's mixtures of governmental and non-governmental sectors actually, and also it is based on the three-tier healthcare system, which we call the tertiary level, secondary level, and the primary level. These health facilities serve based on their specializations, and the number of the population they serve also depends on their level of care. When we see the service purchaser, in our case, it is EBSA, which is a government organization under Ministry of Health, and also there are other private sectors which can do this business. EBSA is mandated to procure and distribute pharmaceutical commodities When we come to the regulators, EFDA is one of the government organization which is responsible for ensuring quality, safety, and effectiveness of pharmaceutical products. We are the one who regulate those health commodities. EFDA is a federal regulatory authority, as I already told you. It's responsible for regulating medicine, medical device, cosmetics, and public health pesticides. It's organized in a number of offices and directorates. It is headed by a Director General and 2DG by now. It's appointed by the Prime Minister. Our headquarters is located in Addis Ababa, which is the capital city for Ethiopia as well as Africa. We have 7 branch offices and 19 entry-exit port offices. The 7 branch offices could coordinate the entry-exit ports which are under their respective. There are also regional regulatory bodies which are responsible for health and health-related products. Most of them are organized under regional health bureau, and some of them are separated from regional health bureau, and they have their own regulatory authorities. This is at the state level. As I've told you, EFDA is mainly responsible for ensuring safety, efficacy, and quality of healthcare products. We regulate those products, including food. When we say drugs, both prescriptions and non-prescription drug, biological products, including vaccines, allergies, blood and blood products, including cellular and gene therapy products, or medical device product, cosmetics, even tobacco is regulated under our organization. Actually, we are responsible for coordinating when we come to the tobacco products. All organizations involved in the manufacturing, import, export, and the distributing premises are regulated by EFDA. We have different regulatory functions: registration and licensing, enforcement and inspections, product safety and pharmacovigilance, market surveillance, and intelligence as well. And these are organized in different respects, both at federal and regional level. When we come to our tools, our regulatory tools starts from our constitutions, then proclamation. We do have proclamations, which is the newly developed revised proclamations, which are currently under effective. Proclamation number 1112 2019. We do have also regulations for food, medicines, and medical devices. And also we have different directives and guidelines which we are currently using. We have different guidelines depending on the nature of the product which we regulate. When we come to application types and registration pathways, specifically for medicines, we have different application pathways for for medicines. We have different pathway for new drug applications. We do have different another application pathway for generic medicine applications, vaccine and biologicals, low-risk medicines, fast-track application, fast-track designation of priority products, including HIV, malaria, TB, vaccines, and healthcare, reproductive health products, anti-cancer, orphan, and also for locally produced pharmaceutical products. We have a special window for that. We follow for a fast-track registration procedure for all products they produce. In case of when we talk of the fast track, we'll give a priority, but there is no special standard which we can use for review. Coming to the medical device, similarly, we have different pathways for IVD, non-IVD, and for low-risk medical devices. Previously, we don't have such paths, by the way. It is currently designed in such a way that to manage all application based on the risk they impose on the public. We have also automated our regulatory system, starting from licensing, registrations and import permits. All the regulatory process is automated, and currently we are using this electronic registration information system. Now, all applicants are supposed to apply their applications through the ERI system. This application submission may be done through their local agents or through importers or by the manufacturer by themselves. For that, we can provide them the username and the password. Having the username and the password, they can simply use the electronic registration system from where they are, and they can submit their applications. And they can also track, and they know at what status or at what stage their application is. And our EFDA assessors, which are working at the customer service level, can conduct the pre-screening review, and if the application fulfills the preliminary requirements, they will ask the applicant to pay the service fee, both for pre-screening and for evaluation, including lab registration. Currently, we are going to impose at that stage, but now we are asking an applicant to pay at the end of the assessment review. But in the near future, all applicants are supposed to pay service fee during the application submission. Then once we review the application process through this electronic regulatory system, if we have some queries or questions which has to be asked to the applicant, we can send electronically to the applicant. Applicant can review and can respond to those list of questions. Then again, we can review. If we are satisfied, we can issue market authorization. We can approve. Upon approval, the product will automatically enter into the database, and also again, it will migrate to the single window system, which currently the government is using for all incoming and outgoing commodities, including medicines and medical device. Actually, there are some which are under process. This is the overall. If an applicant wanted to have competence certificate for importation, they are supposed to apply through the iLicense. That is the first stage or the gate in for the to the system. After having the competency certificates, they can import or export the products which they register or for which they have an agreement with the license holder. So this is the overall system which we have. Again, we have an iImport. This is also one of the systems which we have currently. An applicant can process their purchase orders through this system without coming to EFDA, especially for already registered product. For unregistered product, we have a special access scheme in which they can use again this system. For that, we can review and allow them to import based on the if the product is required for unmet medical need, or if in case there is a shortage. Again, currently we have also introduced the iVerify. We can a system to verify whether the product is registered or not by EFDA or authorized through EFDA system, whether through the regular registration or through the special access scheme. This is the all electronic based. It's a fully paperless system which we have currently. Again, we are also on the way to introduce the track and trace system that is under process actually. Again, when we come to the review types, we are following a risk-based review. we have different procedures to review. A normal review procedure for risk products, high risk product. We are applying in-depth review. The time taking for this is also higher than the others. Expedited review system also we do have. That is more of the accelerated and upgrade one. This will happen for the products which are registered through the stringent regulatory authority, or if the product is already registered by or pre-qualified by WHO, we are applying the verification scheme, and also we have a priority review scheme for assessment. Again, the same will apply for medical device. When we come to the timeline, actually, this is under revision. This is an average time which the application could took to have a final decision. Basically, the delays or the fast response depends on the completeness of the application dossier. If the application dossier is complete and the response from the applicant side is very fast, we can use this registration timeline. Actually, it is an average one, this one. Previously, we have the backlog of dossier, but now we don't have that. So we can obey this registration timeline. This is based on the type of application. Actually, this is the aggregated one. When we come for SRA, the timeline for this is very less. When we come to the WHO pre-qualified product, again, the timeline is very less. So this is the timeline we have. Actually, it is under revision. When we, just to give you an highlight, it may be addressed by another presentation as well. The Ethiopian pharmaceutical sector. Most of the pharmaceutical products we are importing from abroad. Our local pharma companies are contributing almost even less than 15%. Most of them are importing from abroad. Almost all APIs are imported from abroad. We don't have locally manufactured API, but there are some excipients which could be processed and used for adjuvant. But since we don't have such pharmaceutical company locally, even though we do have raw material, we couldn't able to do that. We have a national drug list. This national drug list is very essential. It's a list of drugs which are highly needed in all health facilities. And most of our companies are generic producing companies, and most of the imported products, again, it is a generic one. So this is just the highlight. Again, since there is most of the time we are encountering a drug shortage, that is not only covered by IPSA. So others, NGOs, private sectors, even Ministry of Health is also involving in importing such critical products. Actually, the Ministry of Health and some NGOs are mainly focused on TB drugs, HIV, malaria, and some critical drugs. EPSA is mainly based on other products, actually critical products, and they are using a tender-based approach, and also there are other schemes. Again, actually in another remark, this has been already said, most of medicinal products we are importing from India, USA, France, Belgium, Korea, Denmark, Switzerland, Germany, UK, Netherlands, China, and Cyprus. India and China have a high share. Even India has more share than all. If we see our registration system, registration database, the higher share is belongs to India. When we come to pharmaceutical procurement, as I've already said, pharmaceutical represent one of the largest components of the health commodities. Actually, this is performed by both private and government procurement agencies. IPSA has a high share. This is not the current data. Actually, it is the only one which I found. They allocate even in 2040, it's around 6.7 billion. But when we see now, they have some reforms which they have done. Now they build their capacity in terms of human resource and supply chain system at all level. Again, they are working on revolving drug fund and other programs as well. All those are increasing, and they are supplying a high amount of pharmaceutical products for healthcare facilities and for the user as well. Again, the private sector have also a high share, even though they are not comparable with IPSA. This is just the a briefing which I have for you. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdullah. It was indeed a great presentation with a lot of details, and we are very happy to learn that you are following ERS, and then it did show the status of the application, and and the timelines for the product registration, everything. It's a very detailed presentation. Thank you so much for taking time and doing the presentation, sir. We would be happy to work with you, through embassy in terms of procurement from India side, and we look forward to working with you, sir. With this brief, now I would like to invite Mr. Kalkidan. He is he's into the executive committee of Ethiopian Pharmaceuticals Association to do the presentation on opportunities and potential contributions to international business. So I invite Mr. Kalkidan to give a presentation.
Thank you so much. Right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I'll be sharing very few slides on updates on the aforementioned topic. We're glad that we are part of this event on a very long-standing partnership between India and especially Ethiopia, especially in the pharma sector. So I'll be sharing my slide. Yes. Can you see the presentation? All right. For the sake of time, it's best to read off the presentation myself. All right. So my name is Kalkiran. As mentioned, I came from the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Association. I've been working on the public as well as the private sectors for a number of years now. I would like to just tell you a little bit of information about the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Association and what it does and its possible contributions, especially to the burning issue that we're talking about, the pharma sector of the Indian and Ethiopian collaboration. So basically, it was in 1974 when we established, when the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Association established the necessity of sharing the voices of the pharmacy professionals, especially to the government, with the objective of promoting the provision of quality pharmaceutical service to the society. Multi-sectoral. It covers basically sourcing all pharmacy professionals from all sectors in the profession, including the business sector, which is, of course, our topic. The other objective was the maintain professional competency and promote ethical practice as well. The objective is, of course, to protect the members' autonomy, benefits, as well as rights, so that we can provide their knowledge and expertise to the best of their ability to the society. And all in all, at the end of the day, the EPA wants to advance the profession of pharmacy in Ethiopia in all sectors, including public, private sectors, as well as business. So far, the association's contribution has been very valid and very prominent in especially the capacity building section, where designs, develops, and provides tailored trainings, especially with a relation to continuous professional development to its members who are all professionals in different sectors. It also provides technical feedback and revision on very big governmental documents like educational curricula, policy as well. When policies are formulated, revised, we try to come as an organization. EPA also increases awareness on the profession of pharmacy to its members as well as to society, and tries to promote ethical practice in all forms of the profession. One other crucial contribution that EPA had over the years has been linking different sectors with each other so that they can provide synergistic contribution to the profession. These are, for example, to cite some examples, we had been working on linkages of university industry linkage, for example, program public and private sectors. These are, I can cite some examples as well, where programs are designed to targeting to bring about certain different outcomes in the profession of pharmacy, and EPA tries to collaborate with the different sectors and tries to bring all the sectors together, so the public, the private sector, as well as specific programs. Right. Thank you so much. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I was mentioning one of the pivotal roles of the association in being critical linkages between different sectors which have not been on the ground. So one of them is the university link, where university students are directly linked with industry, so that different formulations for the pharmaceutical sector of the industry is being guided, as well as facilitated by the knowledge base of the universities and the expertise from industry. So EPA comes in the middle, trying to link, designing the programs, as well as trying to link the different stakeholders. There is public-private partnerships, where programs come in the middle, where targeted proposals are written, designed to bring about specific changes in the pharma sector, whether it's providing pharmaceutical services in hospitals or in the private sector as well. So EPA comes as a contributor and facilitator, where the stakeholders have a sit down on working on the same project. The same with academic. Okay, thank you so much. So basically, I was saying EPA plays a pivotal role in facilitating the coming together and working together of different sectors on common programs that bring about advancement in the profession. Coming to the relevance into the international businesses, we know all of the companies from India, of course, in the activities, they have a transfer or transaction of products, resources, whether they are APIs or finished products. As we learned earlier, that most of the percentages incline towards the imported product as well as the APIs, but there can also be service and knowledge sharing, as well as information sharing, and all be kind of categorized in the international business. And all the over national boundaries, and given our history between India and Ethiopia, which dates back incredibly 2,000 years back, the pharma sector has been benefiting from India. Pharma sector has been benefiting from India, as was clearly mentioned before. So, to these success factors that we require for business companies that come from India, since they are going to be focusing on marketing capabilities, financial capabilities, as well as working on their product innovation, EPA can come as a collaborator, as a partner, as long as it's mandated to advance the profession of pharmacy, as long as it brings about the common goal of increasing the awareness of the profession, as well as sustenance of the businesses in Ethiopia, and the promotion of the profession in general. EPA can contribute a lot to bring collaboration to the stakeholders in the healthcare system. These could be whether it's between independent business companies, whether it's between stakeholders in the healthcare system, because there is the regulatory part, supply chain part, the healthcare service delivery part, the academic part. All these sectors can work together and it can be facilitated by EPA as long as it's mandated to bring about that change, as well as the big, very big issue of the public-private partnership. So just concluding off on the opportunities, EPA can foster partnerships between different sectors. So we can work on harmonizing sectors and systems which can improve service provision efficiency, which can improve logistics, which can improve willing adherence to regulations, as well as demand-based purchases and sales, which is directly the interest of all business companies, whether they're international or local. So as a final note, EPA is basically a hub of expert professionals, and there is a lot of expertise on designing and implementing programs, and there is a lot of expertise in crafting collaborative proposals, as long as it's for the development of the sector. EPA can position itself to contribute that part to the country, as well as to both countries to bring about common change. I'll leave you with the final notes by Henry Ford that says, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is a success. Thank you very much, and I apologize again for the inconveniences of the connection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalkidan. Though we lost you on and off, but we could understand from your speech that we wanted to work, your partnership models and other things, and your area of expertise in terms of pharmaceuticals, and working together is success. Yes, certainly we believe in that. And then we have been working with Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Association through the mission, and then we have invited close to about 70 delegates for IFEX, for our international pharma exhibition, which is happening in India. So we have started working with you, and then we will continue to work with you. And we also believe working together is success. We will continue to have your long-term association. Thank you very much, Mr. Kalkidan. With that, now I would like to invite Mr. David Feleke, advisor to CEO of Industrial Parks Development Corporation, to give a presentation on investment opportunities for Indian pharmaceutical companies. So may I invite Mr. David Falake to kindly give the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much for organizing this platform. His Excellency Mr. Roberts and colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning for the participants from Ethiopian side, and a very good afternoon for the participants from India. It's an honor for me to take part on this platform and present the investment opportunities in Ethiopia, particular to the pharmaceutical sector in general, and investment opportunities in the at the Kelinto Industrial Park context. So in my presentation, I will be focusing on 3 points. The first one being the economic profile of Ethiopia in general, and the strategic investment areas that the country is capitalizing on, considering different factors taking different factors into consideration. And I will finally touch upon the enabling environments and the business-friendly atmosphere that the government set in place, particular to the pharmaceutical sector. So I think now you can see the presentation. looking at the economic profile and the situation of Ethiopia in general, so Ethiopia has a clear vision of industrialization, which builds off its rapid growth in recent years and its strong track record in attracting FDI. So the population of Ethiopia has currently reached 112 million. And in terms of economic growth, amidst COVID, Ethiopia ranked the second, following Bangladesh in terms of economic growth at the year 2020. So the economy is growing. The healthcare services of the country and the health awareness of the people is also growing very fast. So the health spending of the country has reached 2.7 billion, and the FDI inflow was 4 billion plus at the year 2017-2018, and the FDI growth was 46% at the year 2017. So so the economic growth has brought about the healthcare coverage advantage, and the awareness of the people is increasing. So this is this gives Ethiopia a very wide range of pharmaceutical market. So the literacy rate has reached 49%. So as I mentioned, Ethiopia has a track record of economic growth for the last decades or so. Like I mentioned, it ranked second in terms of economic growth amidst COVID 2020, following Bangladesh. And so Ethiopia is one of among the five top African countries in terms of investment inflow in the current years. So at the last decade, Ethiopia was Ethiopia was among the 5 top ranked investment destinations in Africa. So Ethiopia's population, out of the Ethiopian population, 60% is productive age, which is a median age of 20. So this shows a very productive and group of population, which significantly attracts foreign direct investments to come and invest and utilize the easily trainable and available workforce. So Ethiopia has a clear industrial development strategy, and the vision is to become the leading manufacturing hub in Africa by 2025, and under the recently developed homegrown economic reform agenda and the 10 years perspective plan, which is the leading document for the economic development of the country. So the private sector, more importantly FDI, the foreign direct investment, is expected to be the driver of the economy. So this is like a general overview of Ethiopian economic situation. So in addition to in addition to focusing on the economic development of the country, so the country has identified certain economic activities as priorities given the country's comparative advantage on those sectors and the need to advance those sectors for the sake of the development of the country. So Ethiopia has identified strategic sector for investment with a strong focus on pharmaceutical manufacturing. So the pharmaceutical manufacturing sector is one among the priority areas that the country is giving most focuses on and investing much expenses on. So looking at looking at the pharmaceutical sector opportunities in Ethiopia. So the government of Ethiopia has identified, as I mentioned, for the pharmaceutical sector as one of the priority sectors and developed a national sector strategy to lead the development of the sector. So Ethiopia is one among the few African countries that has developed pharmaceutical sector development strategy. So, so the plan of the strategy is to grow export in addition to substituting import and improving access to medicine. So, like Mr. Abdullah, my colleague from the Ethiopian Food and Drug Authority mentioned, Ethiopia satisfies its close to 85% of its domestic drug and medicine consumption from imports. So if companies can come and manufacture in Ethiopia using the platform, so like the market is very fertile. So the government has developed, so just to show the endeavors from the government, the endeavor and the capital investment from the government side, the government has developed a state-of-the-art industrial parks specialized in pharmaceutical manufacturing, which is at the capital of the city. Like His Excellency Ambassador mentioned, the government has developed an industrial park, Qilinto Industrial Park, within the capital of the country, particularly specializing on the pharmaceutical manufacturing sector. So the development of the industrial park has dual benefits. So it increases the access to medicine and promotes the rapid industrialization of the economy. So the plan is to somehow fill the gap of the local manufacturing and consumption of medical products and drug in general. So now I will give you a few points on the pharma sector. So access to a huge market and industrial park designated for pharmaceutical sector, making Ethiopia attractive for investment. So like the infrastructure is already there. So the government has developed a service, like has invested on servicing or developing a land which is industrially suitable for pharmaceutical sectors. Sector, and like it has all the required facilities that can be used for industrial purposes. So there, so in addition to that, the strategic document I tried to mention earlier also encompasses some policy focuses and indications on the pharma sector. So just to mention them, strong investment policy focused on pharmaceuticals, which is led by the Prime Minister Office is already there. So the new strategy introduces a tax exemption, which is special to the pharma sector. Like the tax exemption incentives include corporate tax, corporate income tax exemption, which is profit tax, personal income tax on foreign workers, expats' salary, and also duty-free import of raw materials and capital goods, construction materials, and all related items for manufacturing uses. So in addition to this, there will be a one-stop shop of services within the industrial park. All the concerned government offices that take part in the licensing, in the regulation, in the facilitation, and in all required transactions of the pharma and manufacturing companies will be stationed at the park for the interest of service provision to the manufacturers at the park. So like I mentioned, Kilinto Industrial Park, the total area coverage of the park is close to 279 hectares, and so the government has arranged a highly subsidized land sublease price. Like I mentioned, the whole purpose of developing the park is to increase the accessibility of drug medicine and related items to the country and facilitate the industrialization process. So in addition to making money to the Industrial Parks Development Corporation, so there is a policy element in advancing and making accessible drug products to the country. So that's why the services and the land provision at the park is highly subsidized by the government. So like it was mentioned, so the country is covering only 15% of drug consumption from domestic production. So manufacturers that are interested to invest and manufacture products, pharmaceutical products in Ethiopia, will have ample and like easy to enter market opportunities in Ethiopia. So the market access is very eased, and in addition to this, the Ethiopian market. So, like it was mentioned, Ethiopia is the political capital of Africa, and Africa has recently inaugurated the commencement of a African common free trade area. So, stationing manufacturing plants in Ethiopia is impliedly accessing the African market in general. So, like, market would not be an issue for manufacturers that are interested in manufacturing pharmaceutical products in Ethiopia. In addition to the vast market in Ethiopia, there is also access to the African market. So in addition, so the government has established training centers for experts involved in the pharma and manufacturing processes. Just to mention them, more than 10 schools of pharmacy are already in providing and offering trainings on the sector, and the knowledge base is also is also being worked at the background. So the other topic that I will be covering is the key drivers of pharmaceutical demand in Ethiopia. So the government is increasing the healthcare coverage in Ethiopia, like I mentioned earlier. So the primary healthcare service coverage has reached 100% by 2015. So and the awareness and diagnostics and treatment of diseases are also increasing, given the increasing illiteracy rates, the increasing literacy rate in Ethiopia, and the advancement of the knowledge base of the people related to healthcare in general. So there is the population of Ethiopia as mentioned, has reached 112 million by 2019, and it's increasing at the rate of 2.3. So, like this is just to justify the vast market opportunities that Ethiopia avails for manufacturers, potential manufacturers in the domestic market. So in addition, so Ethiopian Pharmaceuticals is expanding, is expected to grow at 50% per year, and it's expected to reach 1 billion at the year 2022. So this diagram shows how the Ethiopian market for pharmaceutical products is increasing. So in addition, Ethiopia is the next frontier for pharmaceutical manufacturing, with regional market valued at 25 billion. So like I mentioned, the African free trade area, which gives free market access to African countries, it's a very huge market potential for manufacturers and exporters from Ethiopia. So in addition to the mentioned Ethiopian market, the market mentioned. So this shows like a bird's eye view, like a bird's eye view picture of the drawing of the Kelinto Industrial Park. And the Kelinto Industrial Parks is the first industrial park that specializes on pharmaceutical, with a total area of 279 hectares. So just to mention some facts about the park. So as mentioned, it covers, the total area covers 279 hectares, and 60% of this amount will be serviced land, will be serviced. So by servicing, it's to mean all the industrially required infrastructures and utilities will be installed on the land. So all the plots will have their own electric transformers and plugging switches, and all the plots will be provided with a pipeline to connect water from the main source. So all the plots will be connected to the wastewater treatment, the zero liquid discharge water treatment, which is already constructed at the park, and there are internal connecting roads with the park, and all the security system is already set in place. So the government has already developed the horizontal infrastructure, and depending upon the nature of the products to be developed, the investors, then the manufacturers are expected to develop the vertical structure. So the total 60% of the 279 hectare of land is already serviced by the government, and there are some Indian companies that are already that have already signed sublease agreements with our corporation to get into and start their businesses at the industrial park. So as I mentioned, the industrial park is located within the capital city of the country, and the specific location of the park is a 10 minutes drive distance from the Bole International Airport, which is the main international airport of Ethiopia. So, like in terms of proximity to main accesses, so the park is well suited. So the industry park is capitalizing on the pharmaceutical sector, and like it was mentioned several times, the pharmaceutical sector is one among the priority sectors that are receiving special treatment by the government. Just to dwell on the pharmaceutical, the incentive, the special incentive schemes set in place by the government. Depending upon the manufacturing processes, API, the active pharmaceutical ingredient producing companies will enjoy an average of 14 years of income tax exemption, which is corporate income tax, profit income tax. Companies doing formulations or final medicines will enjoy 12 years of income tax exemption, and manufacturers engaged in the packaging, in the pharmaceutical packaging, will enjoy a total of 8 years of corporate income tax exemption. So, like it was mentioned, the personal income tax from the salaries of expats and expats range from 5 to 10%, and like I mentioned earlier, all manufacturers will enjoy a duty and other taxes exemption privilege. And so there is no tax applicable on export of items. So other support schemes provided to manufacturers at the industrial park is like Mr. Abdullah mentioned. There is a public agency that procures and purchases pharmaceutical products to the government, which is the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Supplies Agency. So, like for the local manufacturers, there is a special procurement arrangement set in place. So, 25% price preference and 30% prepayment for firms manufacturing in Ethiopia is already in place, and potential for long-term procurement is guaranteed. So, like this is a very big incentive for manufacturers in terms of operating their production processes. So, in addition, there will be an expedited export facilitation services. So the airport is very closer to the industrial park. Like access to logistics destinations is not that difficult. So in addition, like the cold chain arrangement is already in place. So this will not be an issue for manufacturers engaged in the sector. So just to mention some manufacturers engaged in the sector. So we have a company named Intrade, which is from Sudan and UK, and we have companies that showed interest to invest at the industrial park. So just to mention the enabling factors and enabling environment set in place. So like I mentioned, the vast policy reform in favor of the investment activity, the private sector in general, and pharmaceutical manufacturing in particular is underway. So, like the policy framework is very friendly to investors. The structural and institutional framework is already very friendly to the investors in general and pharma manufacturers in particular. So, like I mentioned, including the development of the industrial park, the infrastructural facility development is already set in place. So, the policy reform sphere spearheads industrialization through sector strategies and tailored incentives. So the pharmaceutical sector enjoys a tailor-made incentive scheme, and So it spearheads like the strategy, like the strategy is the crafted being sector specific. So this is a very big plus to the sector. So just to give just like I have mentioned the things, the incentive package set in place in general. I have discussed the physical incentives, and in addition, there are non-physical incentives which may not be expressed in terms of monetary terms. Like, but like there is a custom facilitation, expedited customs facilitation services, a guarantee against expropriation, and all. So there are different things provided under the relevant investment instruments, and there are also other incentives like multiple like provision of special treatment to investors, like provision of visas are expedited, and there is a special arrangement for investors, and there is a market linkage process, and like these are some facts to mention, but the practice when we see the practice, it's a very vast one. So just to show the investment administration in Ethiopia, so the investment board is being chaired by the prime minister himself, and this shows the focus given to the sector, the focus given to the private sector in general. So the prime minister is leading the Ethiopian Investment Board, which the Ethiopian Investment Commission is directly reporting to. And the Ethiopian Investment Commission has different sects. So the Ethiopian Investment Commission and the Industrial Parks Development Corporation are working in tandem when it comes to promotion and provision of services to investors, but our corporation is more particularly working on at the industrial park context. So this is just to show the investment administration system of the country. So like this is expression of the infrastructural facilities, the logistics facilities set in place in Ethiopia, the power provision and others. So the basic considerations underlying the development of industrial parks in Ethiopia is so the first one is all the parks are sector specific, and the infrastructures and facilities developed are tailor-made to the specific sector where the industrial park is capitalizing on, and the industrial parks are more of export oriented, but like we mentioned, the pharmaceutical industry is of a necessity to the country, so it's more focused on import substitution. So the idea is to vertically integrate industries in different contexts, and the pharmaceutical industry as well. So in addition, so sustainability is at the core of the industrial park development. So like I mentioned, the industrial park is implementing the good manufacturing, the GMP standard, the globally accepted one. So the park is developed considering all these factors, and there is a wastewater treatment and a water treatment facility which will not anyway be discharged to the surrounding environment. So sustainability is at the core of the development of industrial parks. So it's one among the factors considered. So by this, I am completing my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. David, for an excellent presentation on the investment opportunities present for India and Ethiopia, in pharmaceuticals in Ethiopia. And we are happy to learn that you have developed the Kilinto Pharmaceutical Industrial Park. And with various tax benefits and with huge space of 279 hectares. We are also happy to see that some of the Indian companies have already signed in to set up the plant. So we also look forward to working together. Now, may I invite Mr. Daniel Optole to kindly share his experiences on India-Ethiopia cooperation, and then how we can work on the way forward for promotion of pharmaceuticals.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pharmaxil and Indian Embassy for having me. It is a great pleasure to be in this event and the platform. My name is Daniel Waktole. I'm a pharmacologist by profession, and currently I am the member of the Ethiopian Local Pharmaceutical Association, and also having 3 imports companies. I'm also secretary of the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Medical Supplies and Reagent Imports and Distribution. So I am also a secretary of the association in that. Actually, one of the biggest association which need to attend in such type of meeting is importers and the distribution. I think in the coming years they will be part of this such type of big events because they are more than 500, 600 members. And I have been in the past also by profession, as I told you, I'm a pharmacologist. I have been working as a PR of the Executive Committee of the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Association, where currently Mr. Luka has presented about the association. I have been chairing the Ethics and Award Committee of the association. I'm the chairman for the 6 years, and I have been part of many of the committee, and also the senior advisor to some government offices in the area of pharmaceutical and so unfortunately Pharmaxil in the past many years, and today technology has become a type of platform. Of last 18 years working with Indian companies, almost my companies are working with Indian, I can say 100%. And altogether, I'm running now 5 companies. 3 are imports of all the 3 are importing pharmaceuticals and medical supplies, basically, majorly from India. One is Yoha International Pharmaceuticals, Istro Import, Export and Import, Globe Trading. These 3 are basically importing pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, food supplements, and the like. There is also, I have also another joint venture with an Indian friends where we are manufacturing detergents. And finally, the third and currently, which almost into the final stage of manufacturing, we're now and making the commercial batch in the coming few months. It's called as Kilich Istro Biotech, which is the first of its kind in East Africa to manufacture cephalosporin in all dosage forms, tablet, capsule, dry syrup, and injection. And this is a joint venture between Kilich of Drugs of India and the Istro Import and Export of Mine, which is based in Esava. We have been working together last 13 years, and it is a long time association that we have come to this. And it was my dream and also my partner's wish to support Africa and Ethiopia in their technology, in their know-how, because Africa is the future. They understood that Africa is the future. Currently, India is the pharmacy of the world. In the previous, it was Europe. Now it has come to Asia. Future, it is coming to the Africa. So that my partners understood, and we have invested a lot in putting up one of the best pharmaceutical manufacturing facility in Ethiopia. Serving not only Ethiopia, it is going to be covering the entire East Africa and the rest. So I advise my Indian friends, because Africa is the future, and India and Ethiopia especially, they have the same culture, same understanding. So this is a time to invest, especially in pharmaceutical manufacturing, because the government of Ethiopia, as it was said by Mr. Abdullah and Mr. Dawit in their presentation, it is true. I am an investor. I'm a true in the area that it is the right time. There is a saying, heat the air while it is hot, because this is a time where Indians should come and invest in such a very structured industrial park, and the government has given all it has been before it is too late. From my side, actually, I have already written 2 books, which was both are printed in India. How to give perspective view. It is just from own perspective as somebody, if he comes, how he should go, where he should start, and where the end should be. So I can show you. It is like this is the book already printed in India, and I co-authored this book in 2018, almost 1.5 years back, and I am distributing this free of charge to all anybody interested, because this has information about all the guidelines, all the procedures, where to start and where to end, where to meet, which office to meet, what are the requirements, what are the skills in Ethiopia. As a very unique type of marketing, so somebody has to adapt. This is also how to market pharmaceutical. It is just goes as a guideline for master guide for medical representatives who go into the field. Is did this in 2000, so everybody is using this as a guide. Ethiopia. There are other more additional books so that how to can get this book. Who is interested? Also, I put embassy you can get, and I can share also some of the copies if you want. So, having said, it is a time to invest in Africa, in Ethiopia especially, because everything is ready. Because there are indications that in the near future there are going to be so many barriers. You're going to because Africa is not going to go depend on imports. They want collaborations, and in such type of there may be like putting taxes on some sort of item, banning of imports. Maybe there may be another government is going to put another like more domestic preference privilege may be put in place. So it is time to invest and get the advantage of investing in Ethiopia, which is now everything is ready from A to Z, as I told you, from electricity to water, from sewage, from water treatment. So it's at the same place. Also outside the industrial park, if somebody is interested, there are ample opportunities. I have so many data. If anybody wants to really interested, detailed product or which line to do, which strengths, we are ready to support. We are ready to give advices as a countryman, so that anybody who come and invested will go into the team without having so many hurdles. That's what I can say. And it is a time to invest here and grow together, because future is going to be a collaborative way of. There is no country who is going to depend on import. The Africans, we want. We have so many barriers, like we have technological barriers, yes, to sure. We have expertise barrier, yes, it is sure. So such type of barrier, we want to break such type of barriers, then grow together. And don't think of only Ethiopia. In another 7 to 10 years, this will be a different story. I believe my words. And if the companies are very like sort of joint venture, it is more advisable, because both sides can match, and where the Indian side may be a major shareholder, because they will bring the technical as well as the know-how. So I suggest that if the Indian or Ethiopian side will be major shareholders, and they do, most of the time I recommend initially that the Indian side will take care of major shareholding part for the decision making. This access suggestion. Having said it, I really thank Parmexil, especially His Excellency Mr. Roberts and Mr. Singh, for visiting our facility, which is almost 30 kilometers out of the capital city, Addis Ababa, on the main road. And now we're going to start commercial batch in another 2 to 3 months, hopefully. So having said it, thank you very much for your time. So it is a time to invest in Africa. It's a time to make to India should take the advantage of the similarities between Africa and India than others. So with this I finish my speech. Thank you very much for having me. And in future we will, if anybody is interested, my email is with the embassy. They can give you, and we can communicate in the way you want. I'm giving you from the investor point of how to make business in Ethiopia and Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, for sharing your experiences and calling for the investment. I'm also given the opportunity of giving the concluding remarks. While I would like to first thank each and everyone for giving their time and for their cooperation in making this happen. While our Director General has highlighted about the delegation that has come from Ethiopia and India's export contribution to Africa, and in specific to Ethiopia, and the way forward, how we can work together. Coming to His Excellency Ambassador Robert, he has highlighted that Ethiopia is going to be a manufacturing hub in the next 5 years, and he also highlighted stating that it is going to be a self-sustainable and the manufacturing is going to be the priority for them. And he also stated that Ethiopia is the best and safe place for the industry for investing at the moment. And we are also happy to hear from Mr. Abdullah, Director EFDA. He has touched on the various proclamations and fast-track designations, as well as the ERIS system being followed, the timelines and the procurement practices by European pharmaceutical supplies agencies. And he also informed on the registrations and the various import partners for Ethiopia. We are happy to hear that, sir. We now, coming to Mr. David, we heard on the Kilinto Industrial Park and how it has been developed, and various tax incentives and their preparedness in terms of infrastructure and logistics has been highlighted by him, sir. Now we heard from Mr. Daniel Vaktole as well. He said it is cooperation in the areas of pharmaceuticals is of priority, and he called all of us to invest in Ethiopia, and he also insisted on it is a time to do it. And then Mr. Daniel also spoke about the publications on how to enter into the market and what are the various products you can focus into, and what is the product potential available in Ethiopia for Indian pharmaceuticals. With this, I would like to again thank you, each one of you, for giving us the time and the detailed presentations for this seminar, which is conducted by PharmExcel in association with the Embassy of India, Embassy of India, Ethiopia. So thank you, one and all. Now we'll be having the session 2, wherein the companies from India and Ethiopia will have the B2B meetings until evening of 5:30 p.m. of Ethiopian time and 8 p.m. of India time. I would like to thank each one of you for coming and gracing us this seminar. Thank you very much.